Hold up. Let me make sure the camera's right. Let me make sure the camera's tight. Are we live? Hold on. Let me make sure the camera's right. Let me make sure the camera's tight. Are we live? Oh, yeah. Big Flea, CO here. Back at it again, y'all. Back at it again. Are we live, y'all? Are we live? Episode 132. 132 of them things out there ready for you to digest, of them good journeys brought to you by some of the best basketball players to ever touch a rock. I want to thank y'all so much as I bring y'all the latest edition of Are We Live. As always, y'all like, share, comment, save this episode once I post it, save it once I post it. Y'all know what that does to the algorithm and the numbers and all that good stuff. Took a little break from Are We Live, been contributing to a lot, so I appreciate everybody that's staying tapped in, staying rocking with me. Looks like I got my brothers in the house already. Looks like Shawty is in the house. Look like my OG is in the house. Yo, if you're not following All Ball TV, please go follow All Ball TV. Some of the best basketball content you're going to find out there. My brother, my OG, has ingratiated me into that family. And I just love contributing and love rocking with my brother. So big shout out to my OG, All Ball. A big shout out to Cal. All Things Hoop. If you're not tapped in and following, please go follow All Things Hoop. Some of the best basketball content you're going to catch out there. Look like everybody's tapping in. I appreciate everybody for the love and support. As I bring y'all Are We Live, y'all know how I love to do this and, rap with some of the best hoopers. A little bit of housekeeping things, big shout out to Derek Williams for tapping in with us last episode. That was a great conversation. So we appreciate Derek Williams for tapping in. If you missed that episode, go ahead and check it out. It's posted right now. And that was a great conversation. Today, special edition. We coming at y'all early in the morning. Special edition of Are We Live. We have Waterbury, Connecticut's finest. I happen to go to college out in Waterbury, and so I'm familiar with the area and stuff like that. But we got one of the best basketball players to come out of Waterbury, Connecticut, tapping in with us. He is a current professional hooper, and is just one of the best hoopers to come out of Waterbury, man. So we're gonna be tapping in with our brother Anthony Ireland this morning for a great conversation. Appreciate everybody that's tapped in so far. Yeah. We got the waves spinning today, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Look like my brother Lenzel is in the building too. 94 feet of UNC. If you are not tapped in with our brother Lenzel Graham, the host of 94 feet of UNC, please follow that page. Tap in with him. Immense college basketball knowledge and is a UNC fanatic. So if you're not tapped in with him already, tap in with our brother Lenzel. We're gonna get Ant in the building and get this good conversation rolling. Please, y'all, again, like, share, comment, save this episode once I post it. Look like I got my OG locked in. OG, how you feeling? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got a goodie today.
I gotta switch it. Rotate it.
We got him, y'all.
Am I straight on the video or am I sideways?
You sideways, eh? Oh, there you go.
Tweaking right now.
There you go.
But am I sideways or hold on?
Nah, you good.
I'm good like this?
Like you good like this. Right there like this. Or
hold on. Let me use my phone.
Got you.
Okay. Hold on.
That was Ant Island, y'all. We're gonna get him tapped in just a moment. Just a moment. Appreciate everybody that's tapping in so far. We got a goodie this morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got a goodie. Like I said, Waterbury's finest. Played college hoops. Loyola Marymount University over in LA. Going to tap into that. We're going to tap into his high school career. We're going to tap into what he's doing with the youth currently. Anthony Ireland Leadership Academy. So just a lot to talk about with this brother, man. Looking forward to this conversation for sure. Yeah, early morning.
Okay, bet. We good now. We good.
We good. And what up, bro?
Cooling, man. Cooling. How you, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm
glad we can line it up, man. My apologies on the back and forth, man.
Come on. We've been putting this together for like a year now, but I'm glad we connecting, brother. I'm glad we connecting. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who you're looking at, if you don't know who you're listening to, like I said, we have Waterbury, Connecticut's finest in the building with us today. This brother played his high school basketball at Crosby High School in Connecticut before taking his talents to Winchendon School, prep school, y'all. Did a little prep school, just get himself right. Then took his talents to Loyola Marymount, where just had a legendary career. Currently playing professionally, has played overseas in Greece, Poland, Hungary, just to name a few. Just a dog and a killer, man. Please help me welcome to the show, y'all, Mr. Anthony Ireland, y'all.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And what up, man? How you feeling?
I'm cooling, man. I'm good, man. Smooth Saturday, man. Just taking it easy, man.
I love that. Let me start by saying congratulations first. I see you made a milestone in your life.
Yeah.
You know, taking that big step. As men, you know that step is big. So big congratulations to you, my brother.
Yes, thank you, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. This platform, all about showing love. All about paying homage to the guys that have put a staple on this game, man. This game that we love, this game that we, just continue to watch and enjoy. You're one of those guys that you put your name out there, man, and we love and respect you, big dog. But I love starting these conversations at the beginning, at the inception, how it began for you. So talk to me a little bit about your introduction to the game of basketball and how you fell in love with it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, my pops was a big inspiration. My pops in Waterbury. Actually, we went to the same high school. We actually played for the same coach.
Oh, that's fine.
So he kind of planted that seed. I can remember me being like, fourth, fifth, sixth grade, just going through his scrapbook and seeing him, in the newspaper doing well and getting awards and all that. So that was like the first seed that was planted. And then wanted to be like my pops. And then of course growing up in Waterbury, man, just so much competition, so many guards, East Coast type of thing, so many guards everywhere. And it was just it was a lot of competition. So I grew up around like a lot of great guards, watching great guards. So that's how I came to be a good point guard. But that's kind of how it started, man. Just after you planted that seed, man. Just be at the parks, and I'll never forget. He asked me one day, he's like, "Champ, like, you love the game?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I love the game." But he was like, "Nah, do you love the game? Like, there's a difference between just playing and having fun versus like actually loving the game." So, I had that conversation with him, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and then I was like, "Man, yeah, this is it for me. I'm gonna lock in." So that's what happened.
That's dope. Knowing that you love it so early, right? It takes some guys a little bit to fall in love with it and actually dedicate the time to advance and just, become a better player.
Right.
I want to talk about a little bit though, Waterbury, man. I had the opportunity to go to Post University for a year and a half.
Okay.
I was at Post University.
Okay.
I played for Mike Donnelly. And so I spent some time in Waterbury. So, I moved around a little bit, right?
Right.
But there's a part of Waterbury that I have no idea about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was a college kid there. And being from there, talk to me about the culture in Waterbury, the basketball culture. What was it like growing up there and, earning your respect as a hooper?
Yeah, man. The basketball culture is everything in Waterbury. It kind of puts the battery in the kids' backs, gives us something to look forward to, some inspiration. We've had guys, most recently Ryan Gomes. He had a long or 8-9 year career in the NBA. So,
Yes, sir.
and then of course before that, but yeah, Waterbury has always breeded basketball players, bro. It's been
Okay.
pretty unique, and it's always you know there's been competition. Everybody like 6'4" and under was considered a guard, so
Mhm.
there's a lot of great guards coming up. Everything was very like guard dominant, guard oriented. Um, and then yeah, that was the climate, that was the environment. And for myself, I always knew who my matchups were. Like
Okay.
Waterbury's big, like where there's about like, I mean, not two, there's about like eight high schools.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's actually, what I mean, there's a lot of people. um so like growing up, I always knew who my biggest competition was across the city. Um and that was kind of what it was, man. Just competing, always being outside at parks, back in the 90s and early
Of
2000s, just
course.
going park to park. Um, and then that was the climate, man. And that was the only thing that, like, kind of, again, anchored the city of Waterbury. Was like, if you, even now, you do some, similar like New York, you do some catered around basketball, but around entertainment, people going to show love, people going to come out. So that was, growing up and playing tournaments, outside tournaments, that was just in our DNA, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I also think that played a huge role in me being successful going out to the West Coast, and I'm sure we'll get into that. But
Okay.
just having that little bit of East Coast grit, East Coast
Yeah,
type of
yeah, yeah. We
style.
need that. We need
Yeah,
that.
you
My
know what I'm saying? Like that East Coast guard is different, you know what I mean, when you go to the Midwest or especially West Coast. So
yeah.
that actually helped me.
Big shout out to Vernon Till. That's my brother.
Oh
Big shout
man,
out to Larry. Big
VT.
shout out to Larry Davis.
LG.
A couple of my guys, right?
Facts.
And so they went to your alma mater, coming
Mm-hmm.
from the East Coast. So
Word.
I completely understand what you're saying.
Word.
Just about that East Coast grit taking it over to the West
Facts.
Coast.
Facts.
You mentioned coming up in the parks, Waterbury, not being big, but not being too big. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of knowing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Smaller guard,
Mm-hmm.
dad kind of preceding you before you got there.
Word.
How you earning your respect on the court? Being a smaller guard, stepping out there, how are you earning your respect amongst your peers and your competitors?
Man, I was someone that was like, obviously I was short. A lot of people was better than me, but I was someone that, like, you know, just fell in love with the work. Like, didn't know what work was, didn't know what working out or training was, but like I fell in love with getting better every day. Like, some
Okay,
I did, whether I was just playing all day or whether I was in the gym, in the pool, in the weight room, even if I didn't know what I was doing, but I understood, like, okay, if I could get better at something every day, I'll eventually catch these dudes. You know what I
right.
mean? So, ninth grade summer, 10th grade summer, I kind of took some big leaps. I took some big leaps, and then, during that summertime, played well against the best guards, around CT and specifically Waterbury. So, and I had good mentors. You know what I mean? I had good basketball mentors. I don't know if you heard of BJ Montero, Damian
Very,
Saunders.
very
They
familiar
both,
with
yep,
Montero. Yeah.
yep. They both went to Duquesne, so
Hmm.
I was like next in line. So I know I had big shoes to fill.
Okay.
And I kind of just, again, I kind of figured out working out, earlier than a lot of my peers did, a lot of my homies did. Fortunately, I was in the gym. I can remember people going football games Friday, Saturday nights, and I'm just, I'm in the Y, sneaking my little brother in to get shots
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, just I was just,
Making that sacrifice.
yeah, yeah,
Definitely.
and I was just different with that. Like, I wanted to make that sacrifice, and I seen other dudes didn't. So that gave me confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So by the
yeah.
time junior year, senior year came, I put in so much more work than just the people that was better than me or my peers or my homies. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So now I'm talking about, now we going to IS8. Now we going to,
Talk about
you
it.
know, New Haven. Now,
Yeah,
now I'm getting a little bit bigger because I got better than just what I was around in Waterbury.
yeah.
So yeah, that was, the summertime was huge for me, man. That was when I was taking my big leaps. Um, and I had a great junior year basketball wise in high school. I won a state championship my junior
Big
year, with
stuff.
BJ Montero. And then going into my senior year, I had the utmost confidence. You know what I mean? So in my senior year, average, damn near 30, average like 29 points per game. So yeah, I was locked in, man. Once I figured out like, okay, this stuff translates, and you know what I mean, just working out, like, then it was, yeah, I was off to the races from there.
When you see the results of the work, it just
Yeah.
makes you want to go even harder, right?
Right.
Like when you in the gym lifting and you come home, you take your shirt and be like, oh shit, okay, I
Right.
see
No,
something.
real talk.
I got to get back there.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
you get addicted to it for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned you had good mentors,
Yeah.
right? You mentioned your upbringing and stuff like that. And like I said, I spent a little bit of time in Waterbury, and the time I was there was the time that you was kind of in high school. I was there from
Hmm.
'05 to '06,
Okay.
'07, right?
Okay.
So, but I know Waterbury has some pockets that you don't want to be walking around at night by
Oh yeah.
yourself.
Facts.
There's some
Facts.
spots there
Facts.
that get back on campus because you don't want to be in the mix at them
Facts.
times.
Facts.
How did your mentors, or was it difficult to stay away from those temptations and things that could pull you away from the game of basketball?
Man, I be having this conversation with the men, my OGs, or the guys I look up to now, and it was different back then, man. Like, you hear those cliche stories, like if you was a hooper, you was good at hoops, you know what I'm saying? The dudes that wasn't on that, with dudes that was on a different type of time, when you would see them at the park, they would understand, like, AI, young AI is, on his thing, doing his thing,
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
get to the hoop stuff. And they were always supportive, man. Like, they were always very supportive. They gave me my first nickname. Um, and they hooped. You know what I'm saying? They hooped, but they was just, doing their stuff on the side.
right, right,
So
right.
it was cool to get their stamp first, though. You know what
Okay,
I'm saying? Get that stamp, get that credibility from them. Then it was like, okay, young AI can, he's all right. Um, so then, that was that. You know what I'm saying? We definitely had like a unknown system of like, okay, the Hoopers ain't doing that. Like, we're gonna support them and push them. Go to the basketball court. Y'all ain't get out of here, man. You go to the court, or go to, I'll give you a couple of dollars, go get a drink, and then go back hooping.
right,
That type of thing.
right,
And then after that, after like, eighth grade, ninth grade, then my mentors, just in terms of like people who I've seen do it before, like Julian Allen, he went to Georgia Southern.
yeah,
Calvin Davis went to San Diego State, and then I mentioned BJ. You know what I mean? BJ was like, 3.8 student GPA, like,
okay.
was just doing
Handling his business in the classroom.
yeah, just
Yeah,
doing everything the
yeah,
right way. Like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
I'm 2 years younger than him, and like, damn, like, okay, this guy's got, you know, official letters coming in, he's getting offers coming in. Okay, you don't really see him outside. He ain't doing nothing crazy. He's getting his homework done.
yeah.
Like, okay, I'm gonna try to be like him because I want to get to
Right.
D1. That's the goal. So
That's the goal. Yeah.
that's the goal. So luckily I had him. Luckily I had him like a year or 2 years ahead of me, and just setting that foundation. In terms of like, showing up to practice, working every day, like not
Right.
taking
Right.
a day off, even though you're the best player in the state, like not taking the day off, like leading by example type of thing.
Hmm.
Um, so he was huge in that. And then I had a few like off the court mentors. I got an older mentor named Joe Suma, who kind of like just helped me navigate the AAU
Yeah.
space. You know what I mean? Because that
Because
could
that's
be
it's a
yeah.
wild space, right? It's
Yeah, yeah, even back then it was crazy.
yes,
Like you talking
yes,
about giving money under the table, giving,
hmm,
everybody was in the gear back then. So,
yeah, yeah.
what I mean, just navigating
I
that
need a pair of kicks. I need a pair of
word,
kicks. Yeah,
word, or it's like you give me a sweatsuit outfit, now I'm gonna come play with you. Now I'll come
I'm
hoop
gonna
with
play
you.
for you. Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So,
Mm.
being able like now I look back, it's like, damn, I could have easily fell into like some pits if I chose the wrong AU team or went down this route.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and then I had my last mentor, Mike Sanders. He played professionally. He went to Iona, so he's like, I don't know how old Mike is, maybe like 45, 43.
Okay.
But around that time he was coming back from playing
Okay.
overseas, and he played like 9 years. So then, we linked up, and then, he was just showing me the way, showing me,
Yeah.
okay, Ant, you got to do this every day. If you want to be a pro, you got to do this every day.
Right.
You got to make 200 shots. You got to hit the weight room. You got to hit the pool. Like, you know what I
Mm.
mean? So then after that, it was
That's
up.
dope. That's dope. I love
Word.
that, man. We all need those guys that kind of help us. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
man.
saying?
Yeah.
Stay in line, stay in the straight and narrow.
Right.
Talk to me about this, man. I know you have a lot of reverence for your dad. First guy you mentioned, in this sit down was your pops,
Word.
right? But doing my homework and kind of getting prepared for you, I see you have some love, huge love for another guy that holds the same initials as you, Allen Iverson,
Oh man. Yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah,
What,
yeah.
where? I know why I love Chuck. I know why everybody else loves Chuck,
Word.
but
Word.
talk to me about why he was so inspirational for you coming up as a young hooper.
Yeah, it was just he was just so relatable, man. Like I think, back in them days, I'm trying to think of the point guards, but there was no point guard who was that relatable. You know what I'm saying? That I could
Mm,
look to and be like, okay, like, obviously we got the same initials, but he was small, he wasn't big, he was getting knocked to the ground, type of thing, getting
mm,
back up. And he was just a dog. Like he just had that mentality, right? Like I
right,
wasn't necessarily. I mean, I could score the ball. I wasn't a scorer like AI, but like I'm more. I'm PG. But
right.
he gave me that mentality, like leave it on the court every night.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like leave it all on the court every night. Like if you, I remember he said this in his documentary. I used to watch it all the time. Like if you can look after the game, if you can look in the mirror and say, you gave it your all, then you know what I'm saying? Like
You good.
that's it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
if you can't do that every time you get out of the game, if you can't look in the mirror and say that, then something's wrong.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
I took on mentality as well. Um, and just kind of ran with it. You know what I mean? Obviously I loved him in Philly, killing and all that. You know what I mean? I have strong memories of all that stuff. So yeah, he was just someone that was really relatable, man. And I think the main thing that I related to him the most was just his mentality. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? Just like getting back up and still going back in there amongst the trees.
Right. Right. That
Being up
relent that
against,
relentlessness. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Just being
yeah.
relentless. Yeah.
And then going up against, I think the 0-1 finals against Kobe and Shaq, knowing they ain't have no chance. And
Mhm.
then, just mentally like, nah, we not gonna get swept out
Right.
here. Nah, I'm not going
Go
for
get
it.
that. Go get game one.
Yeah,
Let me go get game one
yeah,
and
yeah.
remind
So that
people. Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's something that like I can remember just every day I'm watching AI documentary every day, every day. You know what I mean? Just because I love them so
Yeah.
much, man.
Yeah. I love that, man. I love that. You know, as young hoopers, right? We grow up like you said. You watching Allen Iverson. I'm watching the guys that I love. But all of these guys are playing in the NBA, right? All of these
Hmm.
guys we're watching on that level. For you, as a young hooper, growing up, kind of realizing like, oh, I'm nice. Like I can really do this.
Word.
What was your ultimate goal with the game of basketball? What did you see the finish line being, ultimately for you?
Yeah. So for me, man, of course, it was like initially it was like, let me get a D1 offer. That was the main thing, and I had been exposed to like, you know, manifestation and writing your thoughts down and working towards them and setting goals and working towards them. So I had learned that at like, maybe eighth grade, ninth grade. I watched the videos called The Secret. Sort of just like thoughts become things and all that stuff. So um that, then that's kind of where like, my mentality came from, in terms of like setting goals, right? Like
Right.
first it was, okay, let me start as a sophomore at the varsity level.
Mm-hmm.
That's a small goal. And then by my junior year, it was like, okay, let me lead the team in points and assists. And then I did that, and then let me get a state championship. And then going into my senior year, it was like, okay, bro, like you're pretty good at this, like
Right. Right.
manifesting thing. Like
Yeah.
let's shoot for the stars. Like fuck it,
Yeah.
like let's shoot for the stars. Like okay, NBA, okay, 3.5 GPA, okay, Division 1 offer,
Mm-hmm.
okay, average 29 points, become a state champ, like all this stuff that I was just like, okay, let me shoot for the stars.
Yeah.
Like, and I wrote it down. I wrote them all down, and I tell this story to my kids all the time. I wrote all my goals down, and I would put them at the top of my ceiling. You know what I'm saying? So every morning I would wake up and that would be the first thing I would meditate on, first thing I would look at when I would wake up in the morning.
Right.
Um, so then, that was kind of the mindset. That was kind of the goal, is like, okay, let me really try to get to the league. Like I never really seen anybody my height really
Like
get to the league.
do
Um,
it. Yeah. Yeah.
like do it. Like You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like off the strip,
Yeah.
like just off of being
Right.
nice.
Right.
Like we're not
Right.
talking about no favors,
Right.
like just talking about being
No
nice.
connections, no
Yeah.
relationships, just me putting the
Yeah.
work in and getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, and I knew it was a marathon. I knew it was like, okay, I'm gonna have to go to a mid major. I'm gonna have to go to the right school, and I'm gonna have to do this. Same thing I implemented in high school. I'm gonna have to do the same thing in college. Obviously, it'll be
Right.
tougher, and I have to put in a lot more work. But that's what I'm gonna do. This
That's what
is
you're gonna
this is
do.
the test I'm up against.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, man, that led me to LMU. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm not gonna, because I know you got questions on that, so I'm not gonna go too deep. But then it was like, again, it was just like those levels. Every time I reached a level of, where my goal was, I got even hungrier. You know what I'm saying? Then it was like, okay, if
Mm,
this is attainable,
okay.
if I can get out of Waterbury and get a D1 scholarship, then shit, why not? I could get to the league. Why not? Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, why not? If I do everything the right way, why not?
Yeah.
So that was kind of like my pattern. Like I just set small goals, and then once I reached them, then it was like, okay, let me see if you could get this one. Then okay, let me try to get this one. So then I ended up at exactly every time, and I still use it to this day. I still use that same pattern, even in entrepreneurship. My daily life. It's still the same pattern. So it's like just setting goals and
And
then
check
reaching those goals. Putting,
and checking them
yeah,
and checking them more. That's
simple.
that's dope. That's dope. Whoever was listening, I hope y'all heard that, because that's good. That's great stuff right there.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
you kind of breezed over going to a state championship as a junior, then following it up and going to another state championship, but averaging 29-30 a game. Where
Yeah,
does the
yeah.
jump between that junior year to senior year now? What's happening during that summer going into your senior year that takes you to the next level of becoming a guy that can average 30 on the high school
Yeah.
level? Everybody doesn't do that, eh?
Yeah,
Everybody doesn't.
no,
30?
no, right,
What
right, right,
happened during
right.
that summer that says, yo, I'm gonna take it up to another level?
I'm glad you asked this question, man, because a lot of kids just think like it just happens. Like it
Right,
just it just all of a sudden you go from junior senior year and you average like nah, bro. Like I put in so much work that summer. You know what I mean? So much work. And again, like while other homies, other friends, I used to be like, yo, let's go in the weight room.
right,
Let's go hit the pool. Let's go get some shots up. And dudes wasn't on that type of time. So it was all in the work, bro. Like I figured out, I had a little bit of taste of success my junior year. We won a state championship, and then it was like, and then BJ left. You know what I'm saying?
right.
BJ was gone,
So
so it's like,
now
okay,
it's on you. Now it's
yeah,
on
yeah. It was
you.
like okay, okay. I think someone mentioned to me like going into my, I think we lost like our first two big games my senior year, and then it was something like. It looked like Robin. He called me Robin and Batman. He was like, it looks like Robin can't be Batman. You know what I'm saying? I remember, I'll never forget, I walked in a barbershop, someone sent that to me, and I'm like, okay, and then that's when I just locked in. Like I locked
Okay.
in. I kind of got with my team and like, yo, we gotta set some roles. Like we gotta, because everybody at that point, we all seniors, everybody want to eat. And it's like, nah, we gotta set some roles. So
Yeah.
we did that, and then yeah, I just took off. Like I just took off. Like I was like, even versus sorry teams, like I was like, nah, like I'm
We got
getting
to kill
30.
them. We got to kill them too.
Yeah, it
We got to
didn't
kill them
matter. It
too.
didn't it didn't matter. So like, I and then every obviously big games I was showing up. We went to the state championship. We ended up losing in the state championship game. I missed a shot at the buzzer, went in and out. Um, but like they had like four D1 guys. I didn't have any D1 guys on my team. Like
Okay.
I think a few of my friends went D3. A few of my friends went D3 for my senior team.
Okay.
So we didn't really. Our biggest guy might have been 6'3". You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Okay. Smaller
um,
team, not a
yeah,
big
yeah,
team, right? So
scrappy. You know what I'm
yeah, I
saying?
got
We
to do.
we
It's a dog
pressing.
fight. It's a dog fight every night.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So that jump, I probably averaged 17, 18 my junior year, but then I averaged 29 my senior year, and then my
Okay.
thing was just like I'm not leaving any question in anybody's mind, like who's the best in the state, who's the best guard in New England, who's, what I'm saying? Like, I'm not leaving any questions. So I'm going out here and killing every time. So, yeah, made that huge jump. And I knew I had more, just more pressure on my shoulders, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, I'm going to handle this and we're going to get to the state championship. And, I did my job.
Right.
I did my job. I carried
Let
my
the
team
chips
to the state
fall.
championship. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I did my job, and then ultimately got looked at for prep school. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how that went. But it was that summer was just me putting in hella work.
That era, right? That early 2000s era that, I was a part of, you definitely was a part of, right? Prep school um wasn't frowned upon because it just gave another opportunity,
Yeah,
right? It just gave you another opportunity.
yeah,
But some guys didn't want to do it, right? It was
word.
for me, it was like it was mixed. I knew a lot of guys that were eager to, and then I knew some guys that felt slighted when they were going to when they had to go to prep school. For you, a guy that averaged 30 as a senior, a guy that killed in his area, right? I'm sure you're getting plenty of looks.
hmm
Talk to me about the decision to have to do a year of prep. How did you feel about going into that? And, what ultimately did that do for you?
So yeah, so it was more of you know not getting recruited.
Mhm.
Um, like I feel like in Waterbury or Connecticut in general at that time, just scouts wasn't coming. Like people wasn't pulling up. Like, we had a few guys like Gomes and we had a few guys that went places, but for the most part, Connecticut was very under recruited. Obviously New York, New Jersey, like y'all was getting all the attention, what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So that's how that was just the landscape. And then of course like, you know, great, great grades was a thing. Great
Mhm.
grades was definitely a thing. It was back then. It was sliding scale, GPA, and like you had to get it. I couldn't figure out the math on the SAT part, so like,
Mhm.
what I mean. So then it was presented to me.
And they
Um,
had just changed the SAT, like at that time. The
yes,
SAT was
yes,
going through a change. They added a
yes,
they added a essay to it, right? It was
yes, yeah,
changing.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, it actually worked out perfect, man. Like that summer, like I was going to every showcase I could go to, prep school showcase, D2, D3 showcase. Because at that
Right.
point, I was like, okay, I got looks like Sacred Heart University, Central. I got local looks. I got interest Duquesne and Fordham and all that. But nothing like, okay, we want you. We come up. We want you. Nothing like that. So, um, yeah, prep school was everything, bro. Going into prep school, it kind of gave me a foundation of just like what's gonna help me off the court.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like got me exposed. Hold on, these dogs, man.
Gotta love them.
Uh,
Gotta love them.
um,
Yeah.
babe, can you take these dogs, babe? Um, so yeah, prep school was like, everything I needed. It was just like the discipline, the waking up early, suit and tie. I had to, everything was on campus, so it was like you're not missing class. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
you walk
You
into
got to
class.
show up. You got to
Yep.
show up. Yeah.
And then the basketball, right? Like the basketball was just, man, it was first day on campus. It's like we hooping, and I got, Angel Nunez. I'm trying to think of some New York guys. James Stooks.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
who else was there? But yeah, we had a bunch of guys. I mean, everybody on the team went D1. Um, and then so I was like, probably like I me and this other guy, we went low to mid
Okay.
major. LMU, mid major, but it's like low major, low key,
Right.
especially
Right.
back then.
Right. At
Um,
that time. Yeah.
yeah, at that time it was low major, even though
Yeah.
mid major conference. So yeah, prep school, bro. It was just like first I had a whole nother year of AAU, so
Gotcha.
that's what put me on the map, going to give me some more confidence going up against that better competition because I played with the New England players, and we were coached by John
Okay.
Carroll, who coached in the Celtics, whatever. So he like this was, and then we was on the circuit team, so like we were really preparing. Like AAU ball now, like we was going through walkthroughs,
Mhm.
we was going through film, we was going through study sessions. So, I mean, that summer was great. Like, matched up against, Joe Jackson. Um, there was so many guys on the circuit that year that we matched up against. But that ultimately helped me getting into prep school, just in terms of the level of competition.
Right.
Because, playing from Waterbury, going to NEPSAC,
Right.
where,
It's just
we,
a step. It's a step up. Yeah.
it's
It's a
crazy.
step up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. It's a
crazy. You
step
know what I
up.
mean? Like we ended up we had a great team. We ended up going like 30-3,
Mm.
and we lost to Will Barton and them to Brewster in
Oh,
the
okay. Okay.
NEPSAC
Okay.
championship. So, that league was just like honestly, that league was low key better than, you know what I'm saying, going into LMU. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, like the
Wow.
level of competition of prep school basketball at that time, like Brewster, Bridgeton, um, Winchendon. Obviously I was at Winchendon. Those teams, South Kent, like,
Yeah. Oh, I
Northfield Mount
forgot about
Herman,
South Kent.
South
Right. They
Kent,
all,
bro,
yeah,
South Kent.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Russ Smith was up
Russ
there. I
Smith.
played against Russ
Yeah,
Smith.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
like
different.
that. It was crazy. It was
Yeah.
crazy up there. Yeah. Who else? You had Amari Lawrence.
Big shout
You know what I mean?
out
It
to
was
Mari.
yeah, 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 yeah. Prep school. It was different. It was different. So, and then I ended up doing really well there, bro. Like, yeah, it was. Yeah, I led my team. Like, I got all NEPSAC. You know what I'm
First team
saying? So it
all
was
NEPSAC is
tough, bro.
crazy. Coming
Tough.
from where you came from, right? Smaller
Word,
guard,
word,
super competitive. I'm
word.
sure the practices was crazy. Everybody going D1.
Us.
Everybody going
Yeah.
high level.
Yeah, yeah, and I was the only like again like I was the only like if you look at that NEPSAC all NEPSAC team
Mhm,
list, everybody else Villanova, Louisville, Xavier,
mhm.
Kansas, and then it was like Loyola Marymount. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like which was dope. But it
yeah.
just showed like it gave me confidence. Like okay, because I committed early. I know we'll
Okay.
get into it. I committed early. Um, yeah, that's how that went. But I can remember like damn, I felt proud of myself. Like, okay, I'm going mid major, but I'm on the all NEPSAC
Right,
team. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Will Barton's up there. You know what I'm saying? Like those type of guys is up there, and I'm right there with them. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I did my thing. I did my thing here.
I love that. I love that. Right there though. Right there though. And you know, you have such a great year at Winchendon, right? First
Word,
team all NEPSAC selection, right?
word,
Talk to me about how you build a relationship with Loyola Marymount, right? It's a school over in LA,
word.
California, right? You a Waterbury kid, a tri-state area kid coming
Yeah.
from that area. How do you build, before we get into your time there, how do you build a relationship and ultimately decide this is the place for me?
Yeah, man. It was honestly, I mean, the whole coaching staff was recruiting me, right? But this guy named Coach Farr, his name is Chris Farr. He's
Okay.
a West Coast. He's an Oakland dude. Um, he's very well, he's a trainer. Like he's specifically DeMar DeRozan and Damian Lillard's trainer. Like that's what he does.
Okay.
So, a workout guy, training
Mhm.
guy. So, what I mean, he would first I established a great relationship with Coach Max Good, which is the head coach, and he had a different outlook on recruiting. I mean, he's like a
Okay.
70-year-old, just cut from that cloth from back in the day,
Old school.
talking shit.
Old
Yeah,
school. Yeah.
talking shit to people, like
Yeah.
getting after it. So it was cool. Like I could relate to that. You know what I mean? Because my prep school coach was like that, and it got the best out of me. Um, and they built a great relationship with my mother. That was one thing that they
Yo, listen,
did that no other
man.
coach.
Listen, man, that's important. If Mom
Yeah,
Dukes is okay,
yeah.
then we good. We good. We
Right,
can roll.
right, right. That's how that went. But he was the only person, but he was in this. You couldn't do this at the time. But he was coming to Winchendon. He was flying into Winchendon and working me out.
Oh
You know what I'm saying?
wow.
Like he would
Okay.
watch me play, but he would work me out. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So it was like no other coaches was doing that, right? Like no
Mhm.
other coaches was doing that. And he coming from LA, you come into Winchendon, Massachusetts, and damn near New Hampshire, like in the middle of nowhere, just to come check out a recruit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
um,
that's gotta feel good though. That's
yeah,
gotta
it was
feel good,
great.
man.
But the key thing that he told me, man, he was like, um, he gave me a blueprint. He was like, Anthony, you do, because he's seen like he had Patty Mills.
Okay.
So Chris Farr, he
Right.
was up at St. Mary's
Mhm.
before. He was at Las Vegas, UNLV before. So he had Patty Mills. So he was like, basically, and you do this, this, this. You do this freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. You're gonna have a chance to get some money, man. Like I'm
Yeah.
not saying NBA, but you're gonna have the chance to get some money, like
Yeah.
real money. So I'm like, as a freshman, or going into my like, freshman year, during that recruiting process, it was like, oh damn, like nobody told me that. Nobody
Ah,
like even like of course I'm thinking NBA. I didn't even know about overseas. I didn't even know about
mhm.
Europe. But nobody told me like Anthony, you could get paid. You could get some money from and I didn't never even thought of it. So
Yeah.
I'm just thinking NBA. But he told me like you could get paid if you do this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the relationship and that was um ultimately what made me go there. And then, got close with Coach Scholl,
Okay.
one of our coaches as well, who actually just passed away, unfortunately.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace. I'm sorry
Yep,
to hear that.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then, so then, I was then now I'm doing my visits. So I go on an unofficial to Providence. I go to UMass. I go to Fordham. Where else? I go to St. Bonaventure.
Okay.
And then I go on an unofficial to Xavier. And then, because, I was committed, I committed early. That's what happened. I committed early, but I was still open. Like I was still going to fly and see people. Um, and then my last visit, this is after the season. This is my last visit was LMU, and that was the visit. The only visit my mom came with me, right? So
Okay.
so you can
Okay.
imagine, what I mean, leaving, growing up in Waterbury, Connecticut, but leaving Winchendon, Massachusetts, and going to fly out to Los Angeles, California. Like and they
Completely
did it
different.
and they do this purposely, right? Like now I
Okay.
know they do this purposely. So like they'll get a recruit and they're not gonna fly him out in the summer. Like they're not gonna fly me out there. Nah, they're gonna fly me out January when the winter time.
Yeah.
So then when I get over there, it's nothing but sunshine and palm trees.
Right. You can
You
get
know,
a feel for what you're gonna be living
yes.
in. Right.
Yes, and it's
Right.
like, bro, you ain't got to deal with the winter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now, fast forward, me and my mom, we get on the flight. We get off the flight, palm trees, the beach, 70, 80 degrees, middle of November, and it's like, obviously they put us in a nice hotel,
Right.
um, and that was it for me. Like that was I didn't even like I did my visit. I was there for like Midnight Madness.
Okay.
I wasn't even into it. I was just like, nah, this is where I want to be. My mom and my prep school coach was like, Anthony, don't commit just yet. Go back home and figure it out. But I'm just like, nah, man, this is where I want to be. I walked in there, and I'll never forget Coach Good, man. Like Coach Good, I'll tell you how nutty he is. I was just telling my fiance about this story yesterday. Um, so I'm on campus. I walk around campus, and then they bring me into Coach Good's office.
Okay.
First thing he said to me is, um, "Who's this tiny fucking little midget walking in my office?"
That,
That's the
that's how he's
first
talk. That's how
interaction.
he's talking.
That's
Okay.
the first interaction I had with him. I'm just like, and I just start laughing. I'm just start laughing.
Okay.
He's like, "Man, get your ass in here and sit down. Let me talk. Let me talk to you."
Mm.
So then that was that, man. We clicked. I committed, and then that was that. So it was really the relationship, man. It was really the relationship and how much time they poured into me and to my mom um and yeah, and then ultimately giving me the blueprint. Like no coach was
Yeah.
like, Anthony, you do this, you could get a chance to make some money. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Coach Farr he sat me down, told me that, and I'm like, oh wow. Oh wow, okay. I'm a follow, I'm gonna stick to that blueprint. I'm gonna stick to your
Yeah.
blueprint. And that's how everything went down, bro.
Man, that's so dope, man. That's an amazing story right there. Stay with me right here for a second. And so 4 year player, stayed 4 years, started 125 games out of 132 games, which has
Word.
to be a damn record somewhere, right?
Facts,
You're
facts.
you're in the record books for Loyola Marymount. Obviously, first in games, first in minutes. I think you finished third in points all time, right?
Yes.
Like, second in assists. Like, you are just high on the list when we talk about men's basketball at Loyola Marymount, right?
Right.
But you coming from Waterbury, Connecticut, small town, small city.
Hmm.
You go over to California, LA.
Right.
We talked about all the stuff you did and were going on to do. But at some point, there's got to be some nerves. There's got to be some, what am I about to embark on? What was that first feeling when you went over there? Now you by yourself. Mom's not there. Coach is
Word.
not there. You starting to ingratiate yourself as a freshman. What was that first season like for you?
It was man, I quickly realized that like and this was like almost heartbreaking, bro. I ain't even gonna lie. I quickly realized that like and this is no shot to any of my teammates. They know I love them. But like I realized like people don't really love the game like that. Like,
Mm,
you know what I'm saying? You can get a D1 player, high D1 but whatever, but like dudes don't really love the game like that. You know what I'm saying? Or it was just a different love that I had, you know what I'm saying? Or a different drive or whatever it was. I don't know. I still don't know what it
yeah.
was. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's one thing I realized. That's one thing I realized. And then that gave me like an advantage, you know. But my whole freshman class was like that. Like we were coming in dogs, like hungry. Like, nah, we trying to change shit up. We trying to start. You know what I mean? Like I had two African teammates that came in with me that were dogs.
Okay.
Um, and then so we, you know, we was in there. We had our freshman team. We going up against the juniors, seniors. We in there getting wins
Okay.
during summertime. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We running the court low key.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
we talking junk low key. So
Yeah.
um but obviously, you know, LD was there, Vern Teal was there. We had some, you know, Drew Viney, Jared Dubois. We had some guys. We had some guys.
Okay.
Um, and then, you know, but it was obviously it was a learning curve, like the weight room stuff, the classroom stuff, you know,
Okay.
juggling academics and athletics. Um, but no, I was ready, man. Like I was after going through prep, like again, you know, prep school was harder than my freshman year, to be
Okay.
honest. You know what I'm saying? It
Okay.
was harder. So like I felt like I was doing my freshman year over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or I was taking that what I learned in prep school into this year. So you know, a lot of the teams, a lot of the guys, you know, you know, I would say like obviously, you know, prep school teams aren't better than D1 teams, but I would measure up, you know, the Brewster team with Will Barton and, you know, a bunch of dudes that was going high
Mhm.
level against Santa Clara or against
Right.
San
Right.
Diego. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just like,
Right.
okay, there's two different levels we
Yeah.
talking about. So um so yeah, then I you know I had that boost of confidence. But then of course like you know I get humbled. You know what I'm saying? Like workouts is hard, individual workouts is hard, conditioning is hard, the weight room stuff is hard. Um, and yeah, you know what I mean. Like, but there was a lot of changing going around. Like, we had a new strength coach to come in. We had some, you know, I think LD may have been hurt. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like Vernon Teal got pushed to the two. Our one got hurt like 5, 6 games in.
Some
So
things
then
changed up.
yeah,
Some things we had to
So the
adjust. Yeah.
things changed up to where it presented me an opportunity.
Yeah.
And then once you know once I had the keys, you know, you
We
know,
ain't giving it
I
back.
started 100. Yeah, I started the rest of my career. You know what I mean? So
Love that.
once I had the keys, like 8, 9 games in, it was a wrap. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I figured it out. So, but you know, it was still some tough games my freshman year. I think I averaged like 11 or 12 my freshman
Mhm.
year,
Mhm.
which was obviously great. But you know, it was definitely hard, right? Like I was going up against some guys like West Coast guys, Casper Ware.
Big,
Um,
big shout out to Casper Ware.
yeah,
Yeah.
Casper. Oh
Tough.
my God, Casper Ware.
Tough.
They was Long Beach. They was tough. Trying to think of Mickey McConnell, Delavadova up at
Big
St.
shout out to
Mary's.
Matthew Dellavedova. Yeah.
Deli, bro. What
Ellie was
talk about
tough.
6'4", read the pick and roll, like you know, crazy, crazy. And that was my matchup for four
Right.
years. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
So
So,
now y'all
um,
seeing each other. Expect you have
yes.
expectation. You know. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, and coming in the you know my freshman year, that was kind of the learning curve. That was, you know, kind of like what I was up against. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I had like Vernon was there, and Vernon, you know, Vernon still worked hard. You know what I'm saying? Like VT was still a hard worker. We had a bunch of hard workers. But then once I got the starting job, it was you know it was up from there.
It was up from there. So
Yeah.
take me right here. Take me right here. And so you have the AI Leadership Academy,
Yep.
right? And we'll get into that in a second, but I wanna stay here for a minute. You spoke about leadership as a high school player, averaging 29 your senior year, back-to-back state championship games, junior and senior year, and then you go into, Winchendon, and then you get to LMU. How did the word leadership evolve for you as you went to each and every stop until you got to LMU? Like, what did
Word.
leadership? How did that word evolve for you?
Word. It was more of like when I was in high school, I was you know I'm not very vocal like now I am, but like back then I wasn't a very vocal leader.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more just like leading by example. Like you know I wasn't gonna tell my teammates to do this, do that, but like they're gonna see me show up in the morning, they're gonna see me
Okay.
show up after practice. You know, so that was kind of you know the path I went down. Then you know at LMU it was like okay, I'm in a learning situation. Um, but I also knew like you know yeah they're my teammates, but like we also after the same job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
um, like I was very, very competitive. So like summer workouts, summer one-on-one, summer individuals, like I'm not trying to lose in my point guard matchups, like none of that.
Yeah.
Um, so then it was more just leading by example. It didn't my junior year, senior year. Then it was like, okay, now we got some younger guys. Now I can help groom some guys because we're trying to win. Um, just kind of take them under my wing and show them what it takes.
Yeah.
Show them what you got to do in the weight room, what you got to do before practice, after practice, conditioning wise as well. Um, so it definitely changed, but I had huge leaders in my corner. All my coaches were big time, just vocal leaders. Um, you know, Coach Show was a very inspirational, motivational speaker, so he was always giving us gems and knowledge. Um, so that was kind of like my thing was just like leading by example, just
Okay.
like showing you know even though I may not be the captain this year, but I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna act like the captain. Like I'm the point guard, so I'm low key a captain on the court.
Yeah.
When the
Yeah.
games are going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um, I still got to know everything, and I still got to know the X's and O's in their team, our team. So that was like my thing in high school and in college was just it was the work, like
The work.
still falling back on the work, like falling back on what I knew and what people respected, right? Like
Yeah.
you know people could you waking up in the morning, you going to practice at 10. You walk in there, I'm in there at 9. I'm in there at 9, sweating already, or maybe with
Full
ice on
lab,
my knee.
fully
You know what I'm saying?
sweating. Yeah.
Or it's like I got ice on my knees. I already got my
Yeah.
workout in. You know what I mean? Like that's what that type of time I was on.
Okay.
Um, and not a lot of people was on that type of time, which was cool. You know what I mean? Which was cool. But that was the approach that I took to leadership. That was because that was the only way I knew. It was like, okay, I'm gonna lead by example. Hopefully these dudes follow me. A lot of them did, some of them didn't. And then yeah, that's how my leadership kind of evolved. And then becoming a little bit more vocal.
Okay.
Um, definitely becoming a little bit more vocal because like senior, junior, senior year, scouts and scouting services wanted to see that from me, being more talkative on the
Yeah.
floor and stuff like that. So that was kind of how my leadership evolved. But I always had leaders in my corner, like my coach
Okay.
Show, Farr, Coach Good. Always had strong leaders in my corner. So yeah, that's how that went down.
That's dope. That's dope, man. Like you said, you won a state title, then you did a lot of winning as a senior. Then you go 30-3 at prep school, right? As a collegiate athlete, you experience more losing
Yeah, man.
in that during that time than you probably ever did in your life.
Yeah, bro.
So for me, I'm interested from the mental aspect of that, right? Because it takes a team, right? So it ain't because of you that y'all lost
Nah,
games,
right,
but
right.
from a mental perspective, how did you work through that? You go from doing a lot of winning to experiencing a
Yeah.
lot of losing. How did that mess with your mental? How did you work through that?
Yeah, it really didn't hit me, bro. Like it really didn't hit me until like my freshman year. End of my freshman year, we probably had won. We were supposed to be good because that the year before that they had some big wins.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Notre Dame, they beat Gonzaga, they beat a bunch of teams. So coming into that, we were supposed to be good my freshman year. We ended up being bad or trash. Ended up winning like 9, 10, 11 games. But I can remember talk about being mentally all messed up. I can remember watching the tournament,
Okay.
and I'm just like, "Yo, I'm at Division One. We're supposed. Why aren't we in the tournament right now?" Like, and then one of my
Yeah.
older dudes on the team is like, "Bro, we went 2-12 in conference play. How are we gonna get to the tournament?"
Mm-hmm.
So then I started like really understanding like, "Oh damn, we got to win." But
Mm-hmm.
like, it's hard to win.
That's
It's hard.
not
Like
easy. That's not an
it's
easy
hard to
thing.
win. It's hard to win games.
Yeah.
Like it's hard. Like um, so that was kind of like the mental hurdle for me is like, man, like we're losing, we're losing all the time. But like, my thing was just like I'm gonna continue to get better. Like off seasons was cool. Like,
Mm-hmm.
during the season, like yeah, we losing, we losing. But then once the off season comes, it's like, okay, what you gonna do, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you gonna be out here in LA and not get better, or just fall into whatever, or you gonna really stay locked in? And that was my thing. I was just locked in. So that it was cool. I mean, it wasn't cool, but it was all right because I still had the game of basketball to lean back on. Um, we were losing a lot, and it was definitely frustrating. It was definitely frustrating, bro. But I knew, right? Like I knew, like, and this may have been selfish of me, but it was like, yo, I still got to get my numbers. Like I still gotta, even though we may be losing, I still got to get 15, 16,
You
17.
gotta
Like
perf- you gotta
I still,
perform. You gotta
yeah,
produce. Right.
yeah,
There's an
yeah, and
ultimate goal at this point.
right, right,
Hold
and
on,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
hold on, Ant.
like, go
Real quick,
ahead.
real quick,
Hmm.
real quick. Right there. When the losing starts happening, right? But you're good.
Right,
You make first team all WCC
word,
3 times in a row after your freshman year, right?
word,
So you're one of the best players in that
back.
conference. With not experiencing so much winning, does the goal now change to I got to figure out what's going to happen after LMU? I got to start preparing for it after. How does that change?
Yeah, so actually my sophomore year we had a good year. We had a
Okay.
good year. We won, I think we got to the CIT tournament. We
Mhm.
actually eliminated, we actually played against I won't even get to that yet. So we had a good year. We won like I think like 20 games, 19, 20
Mhm.
games. Um so we went to the CIT, and so that's kind of how, like, I averaged like I think like 16 and a half and like 6 assists. So that's great numbers for a
Hell yeah.
sophomore. That's great numbers. So then we went to the CIT tournament. Then we ended up beating Damian Lillard. We ended up
Okay.
matching up against Weber State. So
Okay.
that was, and again, Chris Farr, going back to Chris Farr. Chris Farr was Dame's guy.
Right.
So going into the game, and this is how I knew like there's a game behind the game, right? Because Dame was like he was top 10 player at that point. Like, and he was coming to us, he was coming to LA. But what Coach Farr told me, and this helped me out my junior and senior year, but I was still a little bit stubborn. But Coach Farr told me, he's like, yo, Ant, we gonna win this game. We're gonna win this game. And I'm like, what you mean? Like, it's top 10 player coming in here. He
Yeah.
averaging 25 plus. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? He's like, nah, the reason we're gonna win this game because he got to play the right way. He got to play smart. So if a double team comes, he got to get off the ball. If
Mhm.
he not going to go in there going up against the trees, going to two, three people throwing up some crazy shit.
Mhm.
Why? Because he's getting scouted. He's
Right.
getting scouted right now. NBA teams don't want
Right.
to see that. NBA
Right.
teams want to see you make the right play. Even if you kicking it to the wrong player, the
Mhm.
next year you're gonna be kicking it to a dude in the NBA who's gonna supposed to make that shot. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, so you know what I mean? So basically he gonna kill, but he ain't gonna like be at our neck like that, like dying on the
Mhm.
court. You know what I'm saying? So obviously our whole game plan was catered towards him. He had a bad game. He still ended up with 29. He shot like 18 for 18 from the free throw line. Hit a buzzer beater to send it into overtime. We beat him in
Ooh,
overtime.
Dame missed
Um,
10 free throws?
no, no, no. He
Ooh.
no 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 no. He went 18 for 18.
Oh, you said 8. I thought you said 8 for
No,
18.
no, no.
Okay, he went
He
18 for
he
18. Okay, so he
he
ain't missed one.
He ain't
Okay,
missed one
got you.
free throw. He
Got
ain't
you.
missed one
Got you.
free throw.
Got you.
Then he hit the shot to send it into overtime, and then we beat him in
Okay.
overtime. Um, so yeah, so that I had a good year my sophomore year, and then it was like, okay, everybody's leaving. We don't really have no guys coming in like that.
Mhm.
So Anthony, you're gonna have to carry the load.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to carry the load, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like that's what. Yeah, I'm built for that. So like that, my going to my junior year. I think I averaged 21 a game,
Mhm.
something like that. Like I was definitely at the, like 20 and a half or 21. Um, and in college, that's unheard
Yeah.
of, bro. Like
That's
averaging
yeah.
20, people
That's
don't average 20. I
they
was thinking
don't
about
do
this the
that.
other day.
You
I'm
know
like,
that. Yeah.
people don't average like if I was in today's college averaging 20 at a mid major, it'd be crazy. You know what I'm
Lottery.
saying?
Lottery. Right? Or you know what I'm saying?
Easy.
That type of conversation. Like, who is
And
you?
I'm and I'm in LA, and social media and all the
Come on.
hype, like it's been
Different.
crazy.
Different.
But but still, it was like I'm averaging 20 and I'm a junior. Cool. So,
Mhm.
but we was losing. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we losing. And but it was still like, okay, now at this point, I'm getting not getting looks, but like they're talking like agents. My stock.
Okay.
I'm on NBA radars. I'm on NBA websites and stuff now. So it's like, okay, like I gotta still kill. Like I can't go out here after having a great sophomore year, lay an egg. Like
Yeah.
so that's when my average went from 16 to 21.
Right.
You know what I mean? So and then you want me to go into my senior year or you got something?
Nah, go right because
Okay.
my thing is now you realize like, okay, we may not be a tournament team. You know, I may
Right.
not see team success
Right.
as a player here at Loyola Marymount.
Right.
Going undrafted in the 2014 NBA draft, knowing what you've done as a senior, as a junior, the work that you put in on the individual level, is there a little level of disappointment that you didn't get drafted? Was there expectation there? Where was your mindset
Um,
that evening?
so yeah, my senior year, again, the feedback that we got from general managers and scouts was that like, okay, we know he can score, but like, let's see him facilitate, let's see him run the show.
Yeah.
So my assists went from I averaged like 4 assists my junior year to like 7 my senior year. But then my scoring went
It
down. I went
dropped.
from averaging 21
Right.
to 18.
To 18. Yeah.
Um, and then and it was, I had a good, I had a solid. I mean, I had a good senior year. Me, if I judge myself, it was solid, right? Like, obviously, I'm my biggest critic, so it was great, but it was solid from my standpoint. So then, obviously, last game, um, during that time, I'm figuring out agents. I'm being interviewed by agents, so I know like this is what's next for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we go to the WCC tournament. We actually, it was crazy. We won. We're like the ninth seed, like the ninth seed. You know what I'm saying? We're in last place. So
Yeah.
we play Portland, we beat them. We play San Fran, we beat them. So this is
Mm.
back to back games. So back to
Okay.
back. So we're the ninth seed. So we playing
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
So we beat Portland. Then we upset San Fran. So now we're going up against fourth seed Santa Clara. This is back to this 3 games in a row in Vegas. We beat Santa Clara at the buzzer. I hit a shot at the buzzer. Now we going up against Gonzaga.
Mm.
This is 4 games in a row. Gonzaga. This is Gonzaga's first
Okay.
game. They fly in. You know what I'm saying? They fly in private. They get to the game the Vegas day before. We play them the next day. So it's like, okay, cool. David versus Goliath type of
Right.
thing. They talking on ESPN, whatever.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
won 3 straight.
Who's on
You know,
that?
I'm
Who's on
just
that Zag? Who's on that Zag team at that time?
bro. They
And
had
oh
Olenek.
Lord.
They had
Okay. It was loaded.
Pangos.
Yeah.
They had Elias
It's
Harris. They had
it's
Robert
Sacre.
Robert Sacre.
Yeah. He's yeah.
Yes,
That's
they
a
was they was they was 9 deep. It was
yeah.
crazy. Um, so but meanwhile, I always had my career high up at Gonzaga. Always, always. So now obviously we playing them in WCC tournament. We take them going into halftime. They up one. They
Okay.
up one. So it's like, okay, like we got a game. We got a game. Second half comes, we run out of gas.
Mm.
This is our 4th game in a row. We run out of
Right.
gas. They beat us. But I'll never forget, I got a standing ovation walking off the court. And all the opposing fans like BYU team, Gonzaga, they all give me standing ovation, which was dope. So yeah, now fast forward, now it's like, okay, you gotta get to work.
Yeah.
Now it's like now this is what you've been working for,
Mm-hmm.
AI. I think, yeah, I signed with an agent, and that's a whole different just structure that's tough in general, right? Like
Yeah.
it's tough signing with an agent, like unless you have like people that's been through the process or an agent that's helped you along the way. Like it's very tough choosing an agent. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And an agent can make or break your
Right.
career,
You
low key.
could go left. You
Um,
could go left or
yeah,
right. Yeah. With that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting with an okay agent. Um, and I had a bunch of workouts. So I had a few workouts with Clippers, Dallas, Houston, the Lakers. I worked out with the Lakers like 3 or 4 times. Um, in my workouts, I matched up against Russ. I matched up against Shabazz Napier, matched up against Dante Exum. And I always did my thing, right? Because
Mhm.
like 2-on-2, 1-on-1, 3-on-3, that's my shit. Like
That's your bag. That's your
that's
bag.
me.
Yeah. That's your bag.
Like one
Yeah.
on one, we playing
Yeah.
ones, that's me. Like so I would always kill. I'm you know what I mean, in the shooting workouts, I'm good. In the conditioning test, I'm good. Um, and then so Lakers brought me back for like I think they brought me back for 3 workouts. And I was matched up against Exum, Shabazz Napier, and I forget the other person. Um, and then so they liked me, they liked me, so they were like, we'll offer you a summer league contract. So that was dope. That
Got a
was,
chance.
a dream come
Got a
true.
chance to do the summer league.
Yeah,
That's fire.
and
Yeah.
it's like I'm walking in the Lakers facility every day. I'm seeing the banners. I'm seeing the trophies. I'm seeing Kobe, do his Achilles. I'm seeing, I'm seeing I'm seeing all these guys.
Yeah.
Um, but it's like, okay, I know realistically, I'm probably 14th man to get in the game.
Right.
I'm being, obviously that's just what the hand I was dealt. Um, so then, summer league comes, and I'm gonna just show them like I want to be here. So I'm the last leaving the gym. I'm the first one at the gym, all that stuff. First one at film, all that. Um, and then of course, that year Julius Randle and Jordan Clarkson get drafted the same year. So
Okay.
obviously, those are the
Right.
guys. So they're
Right.
they're getting 20 plus
Julius
shots. They've
Julius had
they
an amazing year at Kentucky, and
yeah,
Jordan was phenomenal at Mizzou. I think like they were
yep, Mizzou, yep.
phenomenal. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So those are the guys. And then it's like, okay, you got some, year three, year four guys that's been playing in Europe that's trying to get back on. So it's like, oh shit, like damn, we got 19 dudes on this summer league team. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. And it was competitive. Like ultimately it was a great experience. I got on the court, I maybe, we played like 8 games. I probably played 10 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? So didn't really get an opportunity, but just having that on my resume that I played NBA Summer League for the Lakers was huge.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, adding that to my resume probably gave me 20,000 or 30,000 more that I could make in Europe. You know what I'm saying? Just by having that stamp, like okay, NBA Summer League stamp. You know what I'm saying? So that set me up for my first job going into France.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And yeah, that's how that transition from LMU to getting an agent to being with the Lakers. That's how that transition went before I started going to Europe.
I love that, man. I love that. When you are starting to embark on your career overseas, right? Do you completely lean into knowing that, hey, this is where I'm going to be playing the rest of my career? Or is there still something inside of you still pulling to play in the association? Like, where were you at early on
hmm
in those first couple of years overseas?
Yeah, I'm still like, the mindset is like, okay, I'm gonna do well over here, and I'm gonna get back to the A.
Okay.
Um, that was still the mindset. Like in my contract, I had like an NBA out clause my first 2 years.
Okay.
Um, but like you quickly realize, man, like this shit ain't sweet over there, bro. Like, first of all,
It's
you
a
ain't gonna
grind. It's a
go.
grind. Grind. It's a
You ain't
grind
you
over there. And everybody
you
says that.
right. You ain't gonna go over there average 20.
Right.
Like you're not even averaging
Mm-hmm.
15. Like Mike James is the best in the world over there. He averaging I don't not know 18, 17. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, it's a different game over there. We just watched it with the
We
FIBA
just
Olympics. You know what I'm saying? We just
watched it.
watched
Right. Right.
just watched the
Right.
style of play. So it was a different game. So so obviously I was hard on myself again. It was tough. Like it was tough, bro. Like my first year was tough because I don't know how to be a pro. Like I don't know what to expect. I don't know how cutthroat it is. I don't know the level of expectation or responsibility it is to be an American out
Okay.
there. Like you're an American, you got to come
Yeah.
produce. You can't have no forget. You can't go have a bad game. No,
Right.
we don't do. You know what I'm saying? Like you're here, we pay you guys the most money to produce.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and I didn't know that. I didn't. I'm just going in blind, pretty
Yeah.
much. So I had some, and we had other. We had 6 other Americans. So it was like we had a good team.
Okay.
So it's like I'm not here to average 15. That's not my job. So um, I'll never forget. I hit a wall. I hit a wall where I think something happened to my hamstring. That I'm coming back, and it's tough. Like, it's tough. Like I'm trying to get back in the swing of things, rhythm. Different style of play. I gotta, it's different tactical wise. Going up against, playing in Europe. It's not like okay, come here, send me this pick and roll, and I can play. It's like we got to run this set,
Mm-hmm.
swing the ball 2 times, then we can run a pick and roll. So uh, it took me a little bit to figure that out. But I'll never forget. I went in, or the GM and the coach had, brought me into the office. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So they're like, he's spazzing in French, so I don't know what he's
You
saying.
don't
But
know
then the
what the hell you
coaches,
talk about.
the,
Yeah.
the, co- the coaches, translating it all, and he's just like, Anthony, like, you're gonna get sent home. You're gonna get sent home. We have a big game tonight, and if you don't perform, you're gonna get sent home. So,
Wow.
so I'm like, damn, like this shit, and this is probably about 5 months in.
Yeah.
It's 5 months in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, like I'm just like green. I'm like, okay, so I go out. I actually kill. I actually play well.
Okay.
Um, I played really well that night, and then I started to find some momentum, started to figure things out, and it was still a rough year. Like we made the playoffs, which was cool. And French basketball, like I was in France Pro A, like that's probably like outside of the NBA, it's probably like the fourth or fifth best league in the
It's,
world.
it's it's high on that
Yeah,
list. Okay.
absolutely. Yeah,
I'm gonna,
obviously, it goes Spain, and then probably maybe Turkey, and then but France is right there, anywhere from like three to five
okay.
and top place to play in the world. So it's we got in France. It's like, and you know how like in college it's like different conferences recruit different players or have different style of play. So like SEC is filled with athletes and dudes is
Right.
dunking, and so
ACC
like
is a little different. Big
yeah.
East is different. Yeah, everybody.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So in France, it was a lot of African athletes.
Yeah.
Like you can see the French national team,
Right.
a lot of Africans, a lot of athletes, tall, big
Mhm.
dudes. So that's these dudes wasn't slouches. Like these dudes is
Okay.
nice. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So they
Right.
know how to play and they athletes. So it was a tough transition for me. I ended up finishing. I finished the year. I did solid. But it was a grind, bro. That was 10 months. It was a grind. Even though you're getting paid, it's like I'm out here dolo. Um, and it was tough, bro. There was times of like, damn, like how bad do I want it? But I persevered. I got through it. And then that helped me getting through every other test that I was up against the rest of my career.
Every experience. Right. I wanna ask you this, and um, where's your love for the game right now? How much do you love it? Do you love it the same that when your dad asked you at 6, 7, 8 years old, with when you by yourself, not no fiance, no teammates, no me,
Hmm.
when you by yourself and you rapping with yourself, where's your love for the game right now?
Oh man, I still everything I do is for the game, obviously for my family, but like it's for or because the game of basketball. You know what I mean? Like my inspirations that I have now is because the game of basketball, right? Like the stuff that I do in my community with my nonprofit. It's ultimately the long term goal is to build a K through 12 prep school.
uh,
So that's the long term goal, right?
okay,
And
okay,
but
okay,
the main thing being obviously academics, but also athletics,
okay.
right? Like, and so I love the game that much that like I'm willing to, you know, pretty much the same blueprint, the same mindset I had in becoming a professional and working hard and in basketball is the same approach I'm gonna take to this because I know it can get me a gym. Like the main, I want to get a facility. Like that's the next step is get a facility. Then again, the long term goal is a K through 12 prep school. So I love the game that much that I want to build a facility. I'm talking about like 2, 3 courts, turf, all that stuff, right? So then we can inspire the next
Yeah,
generation and have them have a place to go, a safe haven,
yeah,
similar like I had. So that's where my love of the game has evolved from like me getting in there grinding every day
yeah,
to like, okay, how can I create the next model for the upcoming student athletes or individuals in general to have a platform to get better, to have somewhere to go. So it's definitely changed, but I'm still using basketball as a tool to number one relay a message and ultimately connect to the kids and get to where I want to go. You know what I mean? And I'm taking the same blueprint. The same mindset I had in hoops is the same thing I'm doing here. So obviously it's going to be hard. It's a
yeah,
marathon. Like the
yeah,
shit ain't easy.
yeah,
There's going to be
yeah.
road bumps. There's going to be
But it's
adversity. It's
you
going to
doing the real work, eh?
yeah,
This
yeah,
is
and
the
that, and
real
I
work. Like this is the
yes,
real work.
right, the real work,
Yeah.
like the purposeful work. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
Purposeful work.
Rewarding.
So uh,
Playing is rewarding,
yes,
but seeing you impacting other lives besides yourself gotta be super rewarding.
absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. So, I get gratification out of that every day when because I see kids every day, all day. I'll see kids, and even when I'm out of Waterbury, it's like, kids know me or people know me, so like, or they know what I do, so
Yeah,
that's always an inspiration to just okay, I'm doing the right thing. Like, let me keep on pushing. Like, like I'm gonna figure this out. Like I may not see it right
right,
now, but eventually
right.
we continue to knock down these walls and these doors, then we'll get to where we want to get to. So the game, the love has changed, um, it's that that same fire is still burning.
Still there. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I got two more questions before I have some fun questions, and we're gonna get you out of here.
Mhm.
And I thank you so much for tapping
Absolutely,
in
man.
with us, ladies and gentlemen. We got Anthony Island here with us today, y'all. This has been a great conversation thus far. Getting ready for you. I've gotten some messages from people once
Oh,
they realize
word.
that you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
AJ English just tapped in with us. Big shout out to AJ English, my
It's my,
guy.
it's my guy. Yep.
Yeah, so so many people have tapped in, right, and have said, some things about you.
Oh, word.
But
Okay.
Garvin McAllister, that's my guy, Garvin.
Mm, mm.
Garv played that post, from the Connecticut area, just
Okay.
Tevin Baskin,
Oh,
like, just a bunch of different guys were looking forward to seeing you on this platform.
word.
But the one word that they kept using was legend and
Mm,
legendary.
mm.
What is that mean to you, man? I see people in the comments calling you a Waterbury hero. Like this love and adulation. What does that mean to you? And where you at in your life right now?
Yeah, man. I think like aside from the basketball and what I've done in the hoop space, man, and obviously people can relate to that because those are core memories that we all grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
I seen a couple people say a couple buzzer beaters that they remember. But those are core moments in all of our
Yeah.
lives growing up. So, um, you know, and I think it's less of what basketball, it's more of just who I am and how I carry myself. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I'm not somebody that's like super cocky or super, egotistic, you know what I mean? Which, some athletes are.
Yeah.
And, I'm very humble. So it's very relatable. Obviously I'm 5'8", so that's very relatable.
Yeah.
Um, you know what I mean? People know what I've gone through, or a lot of people from the city know what it looks like to make it out. And other people, what it looks like to make it out of somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So people can relate to that. So um, obviously the basketball is like, what people see, but I think more importantly it's like how I carry myself and just how I go about things, how I move. And people, I think people really respect that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
obviously I've had some legendary moments in basketball, but it's like, we beat Tevin Baskin in the state championship my junior year.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it was always love from me and Tevin. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was always like, even off the court, it was always love. So like I think that goes further than just like being a basketball athlete. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
um, you know, I know there's a lot of people that, look up to me, and a lot of kids that like see me as an inspiration. And, that's something that I don't take lightly.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm constantly aware of just how I'm moving, how I'm carrying myself, and,
100%.
who I'm with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's everything. That's everything, bro. First impressions, and how you carry yourself. So yeah, I mean, it's dope that people, I appreciate it every day. I'm thankful for my younger self, obviously, for putting in that work and
Yeah.
dedicating and being locked in. Um, but yeah. I mean, obviously, I love all the people just showing love. It's super dope, man. It's super dope.
Yeah. Add me to the list, brother. Add me to the list. I've been looking forward to talking to you now, like we said, for a little while. So
Yeah.
getting to this is
And it's
really
and it's
special.
dope, man. It's dope how, like, small Connecticut. We have ties with New York guards, and
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying. I was, like I said, I mentioned the ISA. I can remember going to ISA every summer. You know what I mean, and playing in that gym, and like what, like, talk about adversity. Talk about
Come on,
like
come
different
on.
different levels. Like,
Different.
not a lot of people could play in that environment. You
Nah,
know what I'm saying?
nah.
Like, so
That little box gym where everybody is on top of
what?
you and you. It's a different
Hey,
beast. Different beast.
what's that gym in New York? This is where I met Tom Konchowski. What's
We've
that
had
gym
Tom.
in New?
Big shout out. Rest in peace, Tom
Yes.
Kachowski, man.
Rest in
Like,
peace to Tom. What's that gym in New York? They always host the tournament there. It's small. It's not in the city. It's outside the city, I think. It's small. Like, the out of bounds is like the walls. There's like behind the baskets. There's like a seating area you can sit on the top. Is that ringing a bell?
ooh,
Nah. It's
outside the city,
I don't even know
gym
where it's at, but it's tight. It's tight. And they used to
tight.
have tournaments up there.
That-
You just have to, but the reason why, because I saw, I saw Kyrie up there. That was the first time I saw Kyrie.
Okay.
Kyrie was up there. So you know, this is like a known tournament, like a
Yeah,
known
yeah,
something. You know what I mean?
yeah. If I think about it, I'm sure I can remember.
Okay,
It's
okay.
not coming to me right now.
Word,
But
word, word.
yeah, that's those moments are just incredible. This last
Yeah,
question for you before I get to some fun stuff. I saw you rapping with your kids, and you know, you pour in heavily to the youth and your kids right now. But everything impacts everything. And when I saw you say that, that resonated with me.
word.
And I really wanted to ask you, you know, for the people that are watching, for the people that are going to listen to this, what does that mean to you? And for somebody who doesn't understand that, how do you explain everything impacts everything?
Yeah, man. I think right, like, you know, you set a goal, you know, then you want to achieve that goal. You know, everything you do has to align with that goal.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about not even from your actions, you know, not even from a working out standpoint. I'm talking about, you know, how you the way you are mentally, the way you're thinking mentally, who you're hanging out with, what you're eating, like everything has to align with that goal. That's just, you know, from surface level. Now if we talking about like working out level and putting in the time, everything has to align with that said goal. So, you know, everything you do, everything, all the small details, how you lace your sneakers, how you warm up, how you stretch, how you do your ball handling routine, how you know, get your touch going. Everything has to, you know, be in the same coordinates as, you know, your ultimate goal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you shortcut your warm up, you know, it's ultimately going to affect your long term goal. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, when I'm talking to the kids, it's like, okay, your body language is huge. You know, can you be coached is huge. You know what I'm saying? Can you accept direction? Can you give direction? Can you encourage a teammate? Right? Because you know, it's all connected,
Mhm.
right? Like you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? Like I've had homies before that like, yeah, they love the game of basketball, they play the game of basketball, but what they do off the court don't
It
match
don't
what they want to do in the
match.
game of
It don't
basketball.
match. Yeah.
It don't match. So the universe or God or whatever you want to call it ain't gonna reward you
Mhm.
if you ain't 10
Yes.
toes in. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
like, yeah, you can work out 3 times a day, but if you off the court and you ain't living like you want to your ultimate goal, then it ain't gonna add up. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I look at in terms of, you know, everything impacts everything, and like, you know, that's something that everybody can relate to. It's like,
Yes.
okay, when I wake up for work, was I focused? Did I look over my notes before I have this meeting? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like how prepared are you going to
Right.
be? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and all that stuff, it sends off light bulbs in the kids' minds and adults. It's like, oh damn, like yeah, that makes sense. So everything does affect the bottom
Yeah.
line. You know what I'm saying? If I shortchange it here, if I don't lock in and I don't give it my all here, how do I expect to get to my goal? You know what I'm saying? If I'm not all in from the jump, you know what I mean? So that was my message to the kids with that, you know, because I see kids walking in, you know, get they wiping their eyes, they
They
yawning, and
yeah.
it's
They're
9 a.m. So
not ready. They're not ready.
I'll tell them like, listen, I was one of those kids that was overlooked at camps, but I knew who the best kids were and I knew how they acted, and I didn't act like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't act like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I also saw those kids and was like, okay, I have an advantage over him because he ain't ready. You know, I was watching AI before I came here. I was
Right.
watching the Allen Iverson documentary before I
Yeah.
came here. He just got out of bed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
We're
like,
not the same. We're not the
it's
same.
two
We're
we
not the same.
playing we it's two different levels.
Right.
It's two different levels. So that's kind of the message that I wanted to get across to the kids, and like, you know, they were like, wow. And that was something that, you know, we had our most views and shares and all that stuff, and it was cool, but the kids really connected to it as well. Like they're like, oh wow, like so my body language affects how I play on the court or
Some of
affects
them
my
are
play.
some of them are repeating after you. You didn't even ask them to repeat after me.
Right,
They're
right.
repeating after you
Yes.
because they literally it's soaking in real time. Like I thought
Yes.
that was amazing. Yeah.
Yes. And again, like anybody can relate to that. You know what I'm saying? You can, you know, you don't even have to play hoops, but you can know how much you prepare, or you can self-reflect.
Yes.
Like, damn, did I give it my all at that
Right.
job, or did I give it my all for this last month?
Yeah.
Probably not. So that's why I
That's,
ain't really.
that's why I'm not
You
here.
know,
Yeah. That's why.
I mean, my self-esteem may be a little bit
Yeah.
low. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My confidence may not be as high.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you
Yeah.
you skip those
Yeah.
steps. So I think that message is huge for the kids, because it's relatable immediately. Everything impacts everything. It's like, oh wow, like, okay, say it again. Okay, that makes sense. You know what
And
I mean?
I'm 37. When I heard you say that, it resonated with me. So I can
Word,
imagine,
word.
you know what I'm saying? I can imagine
Right,
10, 11, 12, 13
man.
year old kids that are listening to you. Come on. So like you
Right,
said, that resonates with everybody, man.
yeah.
Yo, listen, man, this has been great. This has been
Word, man. Word,
amazing. I
word.
got a couple fun questions for you, and then we're gonna get you out of here, man. But
For sure, for
thank you
sure.
so much, brother, for this opportunity,
Absolutely.
man. And you back in Waterbury, man. You
Word.
back in Waterbury. Whatever gym you grew up in, whatever park you grew up playing in.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, quick run.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that you've ever played with,
Mm.
you going to
Oh,
run. And you
uh-huh.
anybody you ever played with, you going to run in Waterbury. Y'all not coming off the court that whole afternoon,
Word.
including yourself. Who's your five?
Oh, damn. We not coming. So I gotta pick. I gotta get a solid team. Oh man. Um, that's a tough one, bro. I'm going with. I may go with some of my high school teammates, man.
Gotta add those
Uh,
guys. Whoever
yeah,
you want to pick, it's on you.
yeah. I'm going with some of my high school teammates. Um, so I'm going with one of my best friends. His name is CB. He's down in Texas right now.
What part of Texas he
I'm,
in? I'm in Houston.
he. Oh, you in Houston? I think he in
Yeah, I'm in
Houston.
Houston.
Okay,
I'm in Houston.
okay, yeah, he
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Houston too.
Okay.
Um, uh, my five. Um, my boy Steve Dunbar.
Okay.
Just because he was a football and basketball dude, but you know, janitor guy, did it all.
Okay.
And then I got two other high school teammates. I'm gonna go with Mike Manning and then Ricky Cortez. So we not getting off the court with that team.
Y'all
And
staying on. Nobody's getting y'all off.
yeah, no, 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 no.
I love
This
it.
nah. We not getting off. We're not getting
I
off.
love that.
We're not
I
getting
love
off.
that. I love how you show love to the guys that you grew up
Yeah,
with, right?
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you played with plenty of guys,
Oh yeah,
but
for
to
sure.
show love to those guys, that's dope.
Yeah.
Same park, and you a point guard. You talked about leadership, right? You
Hmm.
talked about and just having this conversation with you, I can just see the innate leadership in you as a person, man. But you throw a round table in that park. Who's two or three guys right now to this day that you enjoy talking the game of basketball with?
Mm. Talking the game of hoops. You know who I actually love talking hoops with, bro? And I hope he's still alive. I hope he's still tapped in. Larry Davis.
Yo, Larry been here
Um,
the whole time.
I
Larry
I
has
love
been
talking
rocking
hoops
with
with
us the
LD.
whole. Big shout out
Oh,
to Larry Davis, man.
I love talking hoops with LD. Then I would have to go my college coach Max Good, just because he got so much fucking knowledge and he's seen so many players,
Right,
and
right.
I think he's had like 20 NBA players that, you know what I mean, like, so he has, crazy amount of knowledge.
Okay.
And then probably I mean, I could go with anybody
Anybody that you enjoy talking the game of basketball with?
that I enjoy or I would want to enjoy.
You can add that person too if
Okay,
you
so
want.
um, so I got LD, I got Coach Good, myself, and then I'm gonna go, man. Mm, I'm gonna go AI. I gotta go AI. I
No,
gotta go
okay.
AI.
I was hoping you said Chuck. I was
I
hoping you
gotta
said
go
Chuck.
AI. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I gotta go
that's dope.
AI.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope, brother. You've been playing all your life. The
Word.
toughest matchup. Who's the guy that was in front of you, or you had to be in front of that made you question, like, damn, like this is
Yeah,
gonna be a tough night.
yeah. I remember. Not like I just crazy. I just saw a highlight of him on Twitter yesterday, or maybe this morning.
Uh huh.
Um, I mentioned him earlier. Joe Jackson.
Oh,
You know Joe Jackson,
yes,
bro?
yes.
Joe Jackson was
Oh,
like AI. He was like AI in high school. He was like
small guard,
AI.
small guard, shifty, can handle it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Joe was
dunking
tough.
on you like so.
Yeah, bouncy. Yeah.
Yeah, my we was on the circuit, and I think we're playing in semis to go to the state championship game in Vegas. And we matched up against Joe Jackson. They had Chris Crawford.
Mhm,
They had Antonio Barton, Will Barton's brother.
mhm.
Will Barton didn't make the trip, but we matched up against Joe Jackson. And this dude, obviously, that's my
Right.
matchup. But it was like he dunking, catching alley oops, like, and I was bouncy, but I wasn't doing none of that on the circuit or prep school.
Yeah.
So he was, yeah, I mean, he probably had like 30 on us, and it was like, damn, like that's a different level right there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's a different level. So him, as far as like college wise, I would say probably Deli. I mean, no, I wouldn't say Delhi because I didn't hate playing against Delhi. I hated playing against Pangos, Kevin
Mhm.
Pangos.
Kevin
But
Kevin
obviously, I
Pangos
got
for
the
as Gonzaga, right?
yeah, I got the utmost respect for Pangos. I played against him numerous times as a pro as well. But he was the one matchup where I was like, I'm trying to kill this
I'm
dude.
trying to kill you.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
but like he had the same like he would always have his biggest games against us because he
Ah,
knew I was coming.
okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So
Yeah.
he would
Yeah.
average like 11 points for the season, but then against us he would get like
Okay.
18, 24, like you know what I
Okay.
mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
um and then as far as professionally, um there's been a few guys professionally in my matchup. I'm trying to think of my matchups. Uh, uh mm, I mean, Nick Calathis,
Nick,
but
shout
he ain't, you know what I mean? He
out to
just,
Nick.
yeah,
I
Nick,
ain't
Nick,
heard somebody say Nick collect. Man,
Nick, Nick
man,
was tough over in
yo,
Europe. Nick is tough, and you're not no one on one, but Nick is tough in Europe.
and and
Nick is tough in
Nick
Europe.
Nick Calathis. I don't know if you remember John Hahn. Like
Yep, yep, yep,
John
yep,
played
yep.
at Fairfield. John
Yeah,
Lefty.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
yo,
yeah.
those guys, man. I remember those guys in high school and on the circuit with me.
Oh wow,
They
oh
were
wow,
incredible.
yeah,
They were incredible,
yeah. So
incredible.
definitely, when I went to Greece, Nick was he was running things. Um, Trying to think of some other guards I matched up with. Russell Robinson, he went to
Big
Kansas.
shout out to Russ.
Matched up,
He went to
Matt.
Rice.
Oh,
That's
word?
he went to Rice. You
Okay.
know, he a New York guy. Yeah,
Okay.
Russ.
Bet. Yeah, matched up against him in Poland.
Okay.
Um, Trying to think of some other guy. Oh my God, bro. This is your boy. This is your boy. Uh 50 Bricks, 2 Holloway.
Oh my God. Oh
Bro,
my God. Oh my.
bro.
Talk about talk. Go ahead and talk about how good
So
Two Holloway
so I
was, man.
actually I actually caught him. He was in Israel. I was in Lithuania. We were playing European competition.
Okay.
I caught him. He may have been coming off an injury or
Hmm.
something, but I knew something was wrong. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And he told me during the game, you know, because I'm like, it's too Holloway. Like, fuck, like this is. I grew up watching this dude play. Um, so I'm going into the game hungry, and I knew he was just a little, just a step behind. Like he wasn't really attacking like that.
Okay.
So he told me he's like, yeah, bro, I'm just out here. I'm getting my bread, but I gotta play. Like they made me play or something like that. Like I'm injured, right? I'm dealing with something, but I gotta be out here.
Okay.
Um, but we matched up against them in Israel at their
Hmm.
place, and he had a great game. He had a
Okay.
great game.
Okay.
But also your boy, another one of your boys, um, he just put up this clip of he actually dropped my center. He dropped my center doing his fucking 4-step, Malcolm Grant.
MG3.
MG, bro.
Yeah.
I in Lithuania, I matched up against Malcolm Grant, and I knew like obviously I know city guards, I know
Mhm.
who went
Right.
where and all that. So I knew he
Right.
went to Villanova, I knew he went to University of Miami,
Mhm.
and Malcolm he may be 2 years older than me, so I was already on year I was like
Malcolm
on
went to
year.
Winchendon as
He
well,
did.
I think. I
He
think he went
did.
to
Yeah,
Winchendon.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So, but Malcolm was like, I was in year 4. Malcolm might have been on year 6 or 7.
Okay.
Um, so, and we going at it, bro. Like this was a game. Like, and this game is on YouTube, but this was a game. Like I knew what time it was. He knew what time it was. like he had about, I think, bro, I think he had like 30. He gave us a 30 ball. I ain't even gonna
Ooh.
lie, he gave us a 30 ball. And he just posted the highlights on his Instagram page. I was mad as shit at him, but um, he had like 30. I had like 20, like 20 something. We
Okay.
ended up, or no, I don't know if I don't know who won. I mean, they might have won it on the road. It was at our place.
Okay.
But he was tough. And ever since then, like I didn't know him, but ever since then, it was like, it was always love after
It's
that. It was
love.
like,
It's
he,
love.
he
Yeah.
gave me my respect.
Okay.
I gave him his respect, showed him love. And that was the biggest thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I knew all these dudes, and I didn't know if they knew me. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a Connecticut guy. I went to the West Coast. I didn't, Malcolm Grant, Tu Holloway, East Coast dudes went high
Yeah.
majors. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, let me get my respect out here.
Right.
So it was cool after the game. They showed me love. And a lot of, I think two actually knew me, but that was always cool. So those guys, it was, I knew I was in for a game,
That's
lacing it
dope.
up against them. You know
That's
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
That right
That shit
there.
was
Yeah.
crazy.
That was dope. That's dope. That's
Yeah,
dope. Hey,
yeah,
that's dope.
yeah.
Listen, man, you still on your journey, still on your basketball journey, right? Still on your entrepreneurial journey,
Word.
just still living, right? But you've got some experiences now. So
Mm-hmm.
if you got a mirror in front of you
Mm,
and 18-year-old Anthony Ireland is on the other side of that mirror,
mm-hmm.
what kind of advice do you have for him, to help guide him to where you are essentially at now? Things that experiences that you've had, trials, tribulations, all that kind of stuff. What kind of advice, information, guidance are you providing to a young Anthony Ireland?
Yeah, I would say two things, man. Simple, simple is, like I said earlier, I'm my biggest critic. I'm my biggest critic, and sometimes it could be to a detriment, right? It could be like, not good that I'm my biggest critic.
Right.
Um, so I would say don't be as hard on yourself. You know what I mean? Like give yourself some grace.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Give yourself some grace going through this journey. Um, and then just be patient. I would say, like everything happens in divine timing, at the right timing.
Right.
So just, just being patient, and kind of like accepting your journey. You know what I mean? Like your journey, that there's a quote, comparison is the thief of happiness. So my journey is different from anybody else's. Their journey is different from mine, and we all, you know, everybody has their specific journey, and you're going to be up against hurdles, you're going to be up against adversity, and it's how you handle that, right? Like how and I always even tell the kids today, you want to welcome adversity. When stuff is going hard, you want to sit in those moments and be like, okay, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna remember this
Yeah.
moment, because when I'm at the mountaintop, I can really reflect on this moment. You know what I mean? So
Right. Right. Right.
that would be the biggest thing, bro. Is just um, not being my biggest, just giving myself grace, being easier on myself.
Mhm.
Um, but also that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like a double-edged sword, because that's what's helped me get to where I am today, being hard on myself as
Right. Of
well.
course. Of course.
Um, but but then yeah, just being patient, not comparing, um, not comparing your journey, because it's easy to get lost in, like I can remember when I was going through the draft process, and
Mhm.
you look at other guys that are in your class, or getting drafted, and oh, they got this workout, or they're signed with this agent, or they got this job, or he got
Why
signed with
not?
this
Why not?
summer.
Why not me?
Yeah,
Why not
you could
me?
get, it's
Right.
easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to get trapped in, and this is a conversation I have with the kids. Is it's easy to
Okay.
get lost in. It's easy to get lost in that. You know what I'm saying? In terms of just comparing yourself and your situation. Um, but you wanna what's that other quote? It's like you wanna be where your feet are. So
Yes. Yes.
you know what I'm saying? So just taking one day at a time, one step at a time type of thing, and welcoming any hurdles or adversity that you're gonna be up against. Because it's gonna, if you want it bad enough, there's
Coming.
gonna be a lot of
It's on
roadblocks.
the way. It's on the
It's,
way.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
guaranteed,
on the way.
guaranteed. So it's just like, okay, how can you get through that? You know what I'm saying? And you get through that by relying on what you've been through in your past, and the adversity you've been in your past.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So the adversity that I went through in prep school and my early days in high school
Right.
helped me, in Europe when I'm by myself and I'm
Right.
alone. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like,
Right. Right.
um, so yeah, those are two things that I would tell my younger self, man. But yeah, that's a great question.
I love that. I love that, man. What's next? What's next for Ant? What's on the horizon? What you putting together?
Yeah,
What
man.
can we expect?
Yeah, so I've been locked in on my foundation. I have a for-profit company,
Okay.
which is the AI3 Leadership Academy,
Yes,
where
sir.
we do camps, events. We do leagues, men's leagues, women's leagues, and we've been growing that across the state of Connecticut, looking
Okay.
to eventually scale that and do camps. Tap back into LA, do
Yeah.
camps out there.
Yeah.
Um, continue to be a resource for the community and then kind of scale that for-profit entity. Um, and then on the nonprofit side, so I started my nonprofit foundation 2 years ago. And our mission is to have a holistic approach to youth and adult development. And we've ran a lot of grant funded programs, after school programs, mentorship programs, youth employment programs.
Hmm.
So using that as a tool, to again attack on the entirety of the person, or the holistic approach.
Right. Right. Right.
Obviously basketball is the easy part. I could get the kids in with basketball and working out, but it's like, okay, we're also gonna prepare you to understand how to open up a bank account. We're also gonna dealing with adversity, what I'm saying, like, stuff like that. So um that's 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 where my mindset is at. That's where my all my resources is at, and we've been growing. Kind of the next space is to get a facility. To have a home building, get some classrooms in there, and we wanna build something that's gonna last.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Nah,
So yeah,
that's just fine, brother.
yeah.
Just fine.
And so, we really been that's where all my energy has been at. Um, and we actually have a holiday tournament where we have Archbishop Malloy. They
Okay.
come every year.
Okay.
They
Dope.
come they come every year and they participate in it. So yeah, man, looking, and I told you previously, the long-term goal is to have a K through
Yeah.
12 prep
Yes.
school. Again, to kind of you know, do academics and athletics approach a little bit differently.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the landscape is changing every day, every month. You know what I mean?
Every
So
every minute. Right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So just ultimately providing the resources to the kids that they
Okay.
need.
Okay.
The home that they need, the foundation that they need, and looking to grow that and scale that, man. And then obviously in terms of relationship wise, we just proposed to my fiance. We have a baby on the way. So that's obviously that's really exciting stuff.
Yeah.
And then I've been but I still have some stuff left in the tank. So
Yes, sir.
um, you know probably in an idealistic world, how it goes in my mind is like,
Yeah.
probably like I'm 32, so probably like give myself another 2 years to kind of build the company, build the brand, grow the brand, scale it, and then I would love to, go somewhere, Portugal, play for 6, 7 months, not even 4 or 5 months. Maybe go somewhere in Italy with the family now. Got
Yeah.
the little kid, got the
Yeah.
wife out
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and kind of really, because I always loved or enjoyed when I was in Europe and I saw the families there, then their babies come racing to them after the games,
Support.
or they're in
Because
practice.
that support is
Yeah,
different.
they're
Yeah.
they're they're in the locker room, they're
Yeah.
at practice with us. So that's something that I would love to actually see, come into fruition. So outside of everything I'm building, you know, obviously everybody loves to see me hoop. So I definitely still I'm gonna circle back on that,
Okay.
probably like in when I'm 34. And
Okay.
then, just not to make any bread, but just to go there and experience it with the fam.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
play one, maybe 1 or 2 seasons,
Okay.
just see how that goes. And
Okay.
so that's kind of what I got. That's kind of where I see, the next 10 to 15 years going. And yeah, bro, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. And I speak to my mentors a lot, and it's like not much has changed in my daily routine since I was in high school.
Okay.
Like I still get up, go to the gym, you know, I still, have my friends at the gym where we can
Mhm.
talk and laugh and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and then it's like, okay, I'm at the office getting stuff done, running programs. And then I'm back in the gym, with the kids, training, working on some stuff, working with some college guys, working with some kids that may be good in high school or up and coming. So man, it's really like, if I could look back at 18-year-old self and tell him what I would be doing at 32 years old,
Yeah.
it's a dream come true. You know what I mean? Like every day I wake up and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, bro. So despite, still having to grind and still pushing towards something,
Yeah.
it's like everything I've ever wanted. You know what I mean? Like,
Man,
yeah.
that's
So I'm very happy and content and with where I'm at in my life now.
yo. I love that, brother. I love
Yeah,
that.
man.
Happiness is screaming off the screen on you, man. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing to hear that you're in that space, right? Because a lot of people aren't,
Yeah,
right? And so being able to be grateful to be in that space is a big deal, man. I want to say thank you again for the opportunity
absolutely, man.
to rap with you.
Absolutely,
This was great. I hope you enjoyed yourself as much as
man.
I
For sure,
did, man.
for
This was
sure,
a
for
great
sure.
conversation. And I'm gonna be up that way soon.
Okay,
Hopefully we can connect, have a
that'd be
face-to-face sit down, or even just rap, just
that'd be dope.
offline,
That'd be
man. That
dope.
would that would be really dope, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen,
And then
y'all, Anthony
and then
Ireland, man.
and then last question. Sorry, is so where can people watch this again?
So I'm gonna post this. You can watch it
Okay,
right on Instagram, and then I'm gonna
okay.
pull it off, and you'll be able to watch it on YouTube
Oh,
as
you
well.
got
So
it on YouTube. Okay,
yeah,
bet, 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 bet.
I'm gonna pop this on YouTube as
Okay,
well, and so
okay. Because I'm
you'll
gonna
be able.
send it to all my people so they
Yeah,
can tap in.
yeah, yeah. So this was great, y'all. Anthony Ireland is in the building with us, y'all. We appreciate you, and thank you so much, man.
Yo, thank you, man. I know it's a long time coming. I'm glad we got to get it done, man. I love your platform and
Thank
who
you,
you highlight, man.
thank you.
It's good. It's outside of like everything being mainstream, it's nice to see that you found your niche and you got your with your community and the basketball community. Everybody shows you love and so that I knew I had to come up here and just and support you and what you got going on, man. So definitely keep it going, man. I think the guests you have on are extremely unique. You know what I'm saying? Like these guests aren't, they're well respected, but not a lot of people are highlighting
Right,
them. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I think you do a great job of getting those diamond in the roughs people and sharing their stories. So I appreciate you having me on, man, and continue, best success with you and your platform, bro.
Man, that means the world to me, and you have no idea those words right there, how much that means to me. I'm gonna take that, and that's gonna get me through the rest of the weekend, man.
There you
I
go.
thank you so much. We're gonna
Yes,
talk
sir.
soon, brother.
For
Thank you,
sure,
bro.
man. Much love,
Yes,
man.
sir. We talk soon.
All
All
right.
right. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all for tapping in, y'all. That was Anthony Ireland, one of Connecticut's greatest, Waterbury's finest. Great conversation. I'll be posting this right here. Y'all be able to rewatch this and really tap in. Great conversation. I appreciate y'all so much. I'll be back again with another great conversation. I love y'all. Let's flee. I'm out of here. Peace.